Hey, what's up everyone? Back with another video, and in this video today, we're gonna be looking at some research that determines if training to failure is optimal or not. Now, I think training to failure is gonna be one of those debates that's never gonna end, no matter how much research there is or anything like that. I think you're gonna have your hardcore lifters that are gonna say, hey, you gotta train to failure or you're not gonna grow. And then you're gonna kind of have the people that say, well, I think training in a non-failing manner is really optimal because I think in the long run, you're gonna have less injuries and therefore you can train longer. Let's dive into the research. And once again, today I'm gonna be getting this information from Mass Research, which is easily one of the best newsletters slash magazines that you can get online. Those guys do a phenomenal job over there. So if you haven't subscribed to them, I definitely would recommend it. So this one is going to come out of the January edition of this year. And it was done from Michael Zordos. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. If not, man, I'm really sorry about that. But I think this study ended up being super cool because they did one leg on the leg extension to failure and then the other leg not to failure. So essentially it's the same person. So we didn't take different people, right? It was the same person and they just did different studies on each leg. I guess if that makes sense. So one leg was the leg that they trained to failure and one leg was they didn't train to failure. So essentially what happened was they trained 2 to 3 times per week, and I think they were only doing the leg extensions. And essentially what they wanted to see over time was what happened with overall muscle growth. If you ask me my opinion before I looked at the research, I could say that in my honest opinion, I think they're both going to have similar results. I don't think that there's enough significant research that I have seen to show that you have to train to failure. I think it's great from a metabolic output standpoint. I think when you do train to failure, you do generate like a little bit more output. So I think if like burning fat and getting leaner is your goal, I can see a really good argument for training to failure with that. Actually, what they did is they took 10 untrained men that were between the ages of 18 and 30. And when I say untrained, meaning that they haven't trained in the past 6 months. And this body of research they did was actually pretty extensive. It was 6 months long. So this wasn't kind of like a 6-week or 12-week study. This literally went on for 6 months. So that is a good body of evidence I feel like to take a look at when it comes to something like this. There were significant increases in 1 rep max strength, isometric strength, muscular endurance, and muscle cross-sectional area after both failure and non-failure training. However, there were no significant differences between the leg that was trained to failure as opposed to the leg that was trained to non-failure. I think it's very fair to say that it's kind of up to you the way that you want to train, right? If you're one of the people that love to train with a spot and you love to train to failure and everything like that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I also don't think that you have to train in that manner to yield the results that you are looking for when it comes to building muscle and hypertrophy. Me, for example, I like to kind of change it up. There's definitely going to be times where I do train to failure, and there's definitely going to be times when I don't train to failure. And I think it's also important to understand that this study was done with a bunch of untrained individuals as well. So I think that my next thing that I would look at would be some research that breaks down more intermediate or advanced lifters and see if the research is the same or if that ends up being different. So that'll be for another video. So I think essentially what it boils down to is whatever is going to allow you to go into the gym and train day in and day out consistently is what you should focus on, not necessarily if you should be training to failure or not. Because I think what keeps people out of the gym a lot of the time is either lack of direction or not really knowing how should I be training. And I think it's so important just to get in there and train, building that routine, that habit and everything like that. I think that's number one. So I would say whatever is going to help you do that, that's the most important thing. So I hope you guys enjoyed that today. Essentially, there's many more videos to come. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and maybe even share it with somebody that you think would find this helpful. Thanks for watching.